All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I am Kayla. I am a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse practitioner for 10 years now, and this is my postpartum maternal instincts mini course. After I became a mom, I had a lot of feelings that were very unfamiliar for me. Even as a nurse practitioner, I was just confused. I had a lot of anxiety surrounding all of those feelings. So, after I did some research, I found out that most of those feelings are relatively normal and it can be really discouraging as a new mom to think that you're just going insane or you are just overwhelmed with anxiety all the time. So I put together all my research into a little guide, and I want to help as many new moms as I can so that they don't feel that way the way I did after I had a baby. So this is my postpartum. I call it the Mammal Mama Guide because we are all mammals. Uh, and as far as biology goes, we can be very similar in that way after we have a baby. So there's 7 core instincts shared across all mammal mothers. Throughout the animal kingdom, motherhood is driven by strong instincts. So, from nesting, nourishing, protecting, all these behaviors tie us kind of together as far as just being a mammal. And this guide is going to break down all 7 of those kind of core instincts and kind of relate it to how we are as humans. I know that may sound silly. You're like, well, Kayla, I'm not a monkey, but uh, we can relate it in our modern day society the same as when we were, just living in the forest. So it's kind of biologically all the same. We just want to sort of bring that information into our modern day experiences. So, first is the nesting instinct. Um, Animal examples like polar bears, wolves, they kind of make this den and they will do that for months, preparing for the birth. So, you know, we can make sure that place is safe and it's, guarded from predators and that sort of thing. Orangutan moms, it's crazy, but they build nests in the treetops for their youngs every single night, a different one, because they have to keep moving. So they can build up to 30,000 homes in their lifetime, which is insane. But when you think about it, when you want to, rearrange something in your house or, uh, you know, make sure things are better equipped for you and your baby, it's kind of that same concept. You're like always trying to figure out what's the best for the both of you. So there's nesting in pregnancy. Everybody talks about the pregnancy part of nesting, decorating the nursery, washing, folding clothes, and then packing the hospital bag, and really, getting ready for that. And then extreme forms will be like, completely redecorating a room that you weren't expecting to redecorate or something like that. And then there's also nesting in postpartum. People don't really go over that a lot, but there's pericare caddies in the bathrooms, and you make your little feeding stations all around your house if you're nursing, or really just bottle feeding too, things that you'll need while you're doing that because your hands are tied up. And then there's infant care stations, obviously, like diapering. So you can have one in the living room, one upstairs, as well as in the nursery. So across species, mothers instinctively create safe, nurturing spaces for their babies. Nesting is not over preparing. It's natural, ancient wisdom at work. And it's okay. Like I said, it's okay to want to rearrange furniture and make alterations to better suit you and your baby as they change and grow. You're not just being anxious, like it's actually a thing. So just remember that. Then there's the feeding instinct, which is very obvious. After we give birth, the most important thing is to keep the baby fed and growing, because that ensures their survival, right? And that's what a lot of the pediatricians will always focus on, their growth and their, you know, nourishment. So elephants can nurse for 4 to 6 years. Orangutans will again on orangutans are like super moms. They will orangutans, I mean, continue nursing for 6 to 7 years, sometimes even up to 8 years, which is nuts. And giraffes can also, this is crazy, but they can be pregnant while they're nursing the previous offspring. So they spend really most of their life either pregnant or nursing, which for a lot of us would be like, oh my God, we could never do that. Breastfeeding establishes a profound mother-baby bond. I'm sure you've heard this before through closeness and nutrition. Bottle feeding also can do that. So if you do bottle feeding skin to skin contact, similarly strengthens emotional connection. And human children in general depend on their parents for food, comfort, and survival for several years after birth. So we're unlike a lot of these animals, they'll send their young off into the wild. We don't do that for a very long time. So one of the most essential roles as a new mom is making sure your newborn is well fed and nourished, obviously. So it's okay to feel like you're feeding your baby takes up most of your thoughts and energy because it sort of should. You're not just, obsessing over the feeding times. Like this is the single most thing that is going to keep your baby alive. So it's very important. It's why you think about it all the time. The grooming instinct. So when we think of grooming, we think of like, apes and monkeys kind of picking the bugs off their backs and stuff. We don't really think about it for us, but it is there. So grooming is crucial for actually bonding and development. This instinct impacts a baby's stress response, pain perception, which is very crazy, and gene expression. So in primates, grooming strengthens the social bonds within the group. For us, it's more like bathing the baby, dressing the baby. You may have urges to keep your baby clean and in a clean environment. Um, when we grow up, we will use self-soothing behaviors like stroking the arms or stroking the legs, um, rubbing our hands together to help us self-soothe and relieve stress. So these things can actually help decrease, like regulate anxiety when we're older. So it's very important that we do that with our newborns. So, if people are kind of judgmental and say that you're wanting to, change your baby's outfit too much and, because they spit up on it or something, that's actually very normal for you to do. Grooming isn't just about keeping our babies clean. It's a primal form of communication, comfort, and connection from infancy to adulthood. And touch regulates our nervous systems. It builds trust with the baby. So the baby knows that, like, when they're uncomfortable, mom is going to be there. And it reinforces the bond between the mother and the baby. So, again, it is okay to want to keep your baby clean. Through this, you are bonding and forming self-regulation. You're not just being a germaphobe. A lot of parents or older parents will say that, oh, she's just, anxious about the baby being clean and she'll get over that or whatever. But that's actually very normal for you to feel as a new mom with a new baby. The calling instinct. So this is obviously we know babies cry, uh, but they are crying for a reason. Animal examples: harbor seals. They have unique calls to locate their pups. Whale moms are the same way. In the ocean, they could actually do it over very long distances. Canine moms use a range of soothing sounds, scolding noises, even growling, at their little puppies to kind of keep them in line. Primates use vocalizations to coordinate movements and communicate social information. Most newborn mammals will emit distress calls. So all little babies are going to call out to their mom when they are distressed, and yours will too. Um, For example, with us, we do the cooing, the talking, the singing to the baby. It's all related to that vocal bond that we have using baby talk, formerly known as infant or formally, yeah, known as infant directed speech. This is a higher pitched, slower, that little, whatever you're saying to your baby, in an exaggerated annotation. Soothing the baby helps lay the foundation for language development later in life. So also as mothers, we're on constant alert for the sound of crying or distress sounds from our baby, so much so that we'll hear crying when they're not even crying. We'll be like, every mom talks about like being in the shower and being like, oh my God, was that the baby? Did I hear the baby cry? So it's just natural. And you can call it the mom ears or whatever you want to call it, but we are made to do that. So from coos to cries, vocalizations are among the earliest ways mammal mothers connect with their babies across species. A mother's voice comforts, guides, and reassures the baby for safety. So it's okay to respond to your baby's cries because that is what they're meant for. You are not over worrying. You have a natural heightened sense for them. Then we have the carrying instinct. For the first 4 months uh, of the baby's life, orangutan babies never lose contact with their mothers. Like they are literally holding on all the time. Um, and obviously several other mammals like felines, cats they'll carry their baby in their mouths. We kind of look at it as like, oh my God, that looks like it hurts, but it's actually very soothing for the baby. It's kind of like rocking our baby to sleep because it swings the baby as they're walking around with them. Your baby will probably always want to be held. They're used to being in your belly, and it's a natural thing for them to want. You'll find that when you hold your baby, all of a sudden they stop crying or they stop fussing, and like I said, that's just totally normal. So with humans, baby wearing has been done for many, many, many years in cloth wraps, slings, carriers to promote warmth, protection, and bonding, and it allows mobility for daily life. So like it is so um, much easier to like get some stuff done around the house when the baby's just like attached to you and your hands are free. And we've kind of adopted more of that as the years have gone along. Kind of gone back to that way because you try to put them down and then they just instantly start fussing or crying, which is normal for them. And it's normal for you to want to feel better having them on you or holding them too. That creates a kind of psychological response that they're safe, they're with you, sort of thing. Like I said, carrying your baby has been known to soothe fussiness. And in one human study, it even lowered the baby's heart rate once the mother began walking around and holding the baby. So I thought that was pretty neat. Carrying is not just convenient, it's instinctual. It supports a co-regulation and strengthens the parent-child bond. So it's okay to want to hold your baby all the time. You're not spoiling your baby. Whoever tells you that is completely wrong. And it's very natural for the both of you and beneficial. The shielding instinct is next. So I kind of grouped a lot of this together as the shielding. Basically, you're going to be protective of your baby towards everyone, even dad and partner. Um, so it's just a fact. There, is no way around it really. The certain things will make you less anxious than others, but to be protective of them is crucial for their survival. Elephants are a matriarchal species, which means that they're led by, the moms and the females. That they travel in herds of females with their young. So not only are the offspring protected by mom after birth, but if the calf is orphaned, like if the mom passes away, then the rest of the herd will adopt the baby. So it's just like a communal thing with them. Other species are known to be very protective, obviously, like bears. Mama bear, that is a very real term because they're very protective of their young. Orcas, and obviously tigers and canines are, growling, like, showing their teeth at like anybody that comes near their baby. Geese, I don't know if you've ever been around a mother goose, and that's another like term that we use as humans, but they'll hiss at you if their babies are near them, like, in other words, stay away. The shielding or crouching posture that you may use to protect your baby, it just kind of uh, expresses, a very protective, you're protecting it from nature, protecting it from weather or anything really. You're just shielding your baby. So that's really normal as well. That's a natural breastfeeding posture too, to kind of keep them tucked in, and or feeding posture. It closes the space between the mother's face and the baby's face. So it improves eye contact because newborns can only see about this far away from their face clearly. Everything is kind of blurry otherwise. So that kind of improves that bond. And then you can have anxiety when somebody else is holding your baby. That's totally normal, because it's just that's the way that it is when they're new. They're very fragile. So it being not in your arms and in someone else's, like I said, even dad's partners, uh, you will still feel that little twinge of like, oh, let me just take them back. And that is, like I said, completely normal. So, urges and feelings to have reclusiveness, wanting others to stay away, like just be in the house with your baby alone, not alone, but just like not as too many people around, that's normal as well. Being protective of your new baby is completely natural. This behavior is encouraging in nature and crucial, like I said, to the infant's survival. It's okay to feel protective and even aggressive. This is where a lot of things can get, confusing when you're like, man, why am I so just like angry when somebody wants to touch my baby or like even hold them towards including loved ones. This can be, it goes for anyone outside of yourself as a mom, as a new mom, and you're not being rude or distrusting. You are just being protective of your new baby and you're making sure that they survive in that way. So yeah, it's very natural and very real. It happens. And then the retrieving instinct. So this is just you really wanting to be close with your baby and wanting your baby to be close. So, mammal mamas are wired to quickly retrieve their babies if they were to wander off in nature because ensures their safety from hunting predators. So, you're just protecting them from things that could harm them, really. So, having the urge to take your baby back from somebody that's holding them, instinctually wanting your baby to stay close in proximity to you, feelings of uneasiness when your baby is out of sight. Those are all normal feelings to have uh, from this instinct. The retrieving instinct reflects a mother's deep attunement to her baby, scanning for danger and watchful responsiveness reinforces a secure attachment. You're not hoarding your baby, you are ensuring their survival. So it's okay to want to keep your baby close and in sight. You are not hoarding your baby, you are ensuring their survival. Again, if anyone tells you that you're hogging your baby or you just won't let anybody hold them, that sort of thing is not true. You're just being a good mom. So, trusting your inner mammal. Mama, you were made for this. These seven instincts, nesting, feeding, grooming, calling, carrying, shielding, and retrieving, are not random reactions. They are responses passed down through generations of mothers. And yes, they are inside you as well. In a modern world that often pushes mothers to question themselves, this guide is your gentle reminder that your body and your intuition are valid. So, um, I just wanted to hopefully educate as many new moms as possible, that this is a completely normal transition that you're going to go through. And some of these feelings will be stronger in the beginning than they are, as your baby grows and gets older, because they become more self-sufficient. So in the beginning, just remember all of this. You can come back to it, look at it. Um, and obviously, if you want to work with me and for after and postpartum, I would totally encourage that. Always here to kind of be there and kind of move you through the whole new mom experience. I know I struggled a lot, and I want to make sure that, a lot of moms aren't struggling as much as I did, because it's really important um, to really be kind to yourself in this new role. All right. Thank you guys and take care.